A. Look and listen.
Look, here comes Daniel. He has a box. I think he's going to donate some clothes.
Yes, he said that he donated clothes every year.
What are you doing now?
I am organizing the food drive. Lots of people have donated food for us.
That's great. And what are Mateo and Lee doing?
Mateo is holding a bake sale. He said that he held bake sales every month. Lee is helping him.
I think we are going to collect a lot of money today.
Do you have any plans for the weekend?
Yes, I am going to visit elderly people.
Are you going with Lee? She said that she visited elderly people every weekend.
Yes, we are going together.
That's great. I bet they have a lot of interesting stories to tell.
B. Listen and say. Number 1.
Donate clothes.
Number 2.
Organize food drives.
Number 3.
Help the homeless.
Number 4.
Hold bake sales.
Number 5.
Visit elderly people.
Number 6.
Volunteer at an animal shelter.
Number 7.
Clean up beaches.
Number 8.
Collect money.
C. Look at the pictures. Listen and write the letters. A.
It's important to look after the environment, so our class helps to clean up beaches.
B.
Some people hold bake sales to sell cakes to make money.
C.
He likes to organize food drives to collect food for poor people.
D.
We can collect money from people to give to the poor.
E.
You can help the homeless every weekend.
F.
She is going to visit elderly people to talk to them this week.
G.
Many people donate clothes when they are too big for them.
H.
I love animals, so I often volunteer at an animal shelter.
D. Chant. Turn to page 115.
What do you do for your community?
I donate clothes.
She said that she donated clothes.
What do you do for your community?
I help the homeless.
He said that he helped the homeless.
What do you do for your community?
I visit elderly people.
She said that she visited elderly people.
What do you do for your community?
I hold bake sales.
He said that he held bake sales.
What do you do for your community?
I clean up beaches.
She said that she cleaned up beaches.
What do you do for your community?
I organize food drives.
He said that he organized food drives.
A. Listen and repeat.
Have you seen Brian?
No. Why?
He said he had qualified for a really important contest.
Wow! I wonder if he's going to participate in a debate or a marathon.
Let's find him.
Brian, what are you doing? I think I know. He said that he was practicing for an important contest.
What kind of contest?
A hot dog eating contest.
A. Listen and say. Number 1.
Fix a computer.
Number 2.
Change a tire.
Number 3.
Put up a picture.
Number 4.
Lend a textbook.
Number 5.
Give advice.
Number 6.
Shovel snow.
Number 7.
Wash a car.
Number 8.
Carry bags.
B. Listen and write the letters. A.
I'm good with technology, so I know how to fix a computer.
B.
In the winter, it's very cold, so some people shovel snow.
C.
It's a good idea to learn how to change a tire in case your car has a problem.
D.
If you have a problem, your parents can give advice to help you.
E.
My neighbor is old, so I help her to carry bags.
F.
We can put up a picture of our family in the living room.
G.
When the weather is nice, we can wash a car outside.
H.
My teacher said she will lend a textbook if we forget ours.
C. Listen. Then look at the pictures. Talk with a partner.
I fixed a computer last week.
He said that he had fixed a computer last week.
I gave advice yesterday.
He said that he had given advice yesterday.
A. Listen and read. Learning about communities.
Did you know there are many types of communities? Let's learn about them. There are urban communities all over the world. An urban community is in a city or a big town, and a lot of people live in it. Typically, people in urban communities live close together in smaller spaces. Some people may have cars, but many residents walk or take public transportation. There may be parks and green areas, but they're not as large as natural areas outside of cities. This is Stella, and she lives in an urban community. She said that city life was fun. She enjoys taking the subway and living in a place with so much to do. She said that she went to the mall with her friends on weekends. A suburban community is also called the suburbs. Suburban communities are just outside of big cities. Public transportation there isn't as good as in cities. Most residents need to have a car to get to work. Typically, houses are bigger and have yards. And there are usually more natural areas. This is Kim and Robert, and they live in a suburban community. They said that they went to the park often. They also said they enjoyed biking around the neighborhood and grilling food in their backyard. Rural communities are less populated. They are in the countryside, where people live in very small towns or in places far away from others. The closest neighbors may live miles away. Many farms are in rural areas, so farmers have a lot of space to grow crops. This is Sam, and he lives in a rural community. Sam said that he helped his family on the farm. He said that it was a peaceful place. Because there are not a lot of lights from houses, it's easy to see the stars at night. Sam said he liked to look at the stars.
D. Listen and answer the boys' questions.
Hey, Dan, can we take a break from biking?
Sure, Aiden.
Thanks. I'm tired. I'm glad we're getting to bike in our community.
Me too. I bet it would be fun to bike in an urban community because we could ride next to tall buildings. I read an article yesterday about different communities. It said many people who live in urban communities don't own cars.
Number 1.
How do people get around in urban communities with no cars? That's cool. Still, I like living in a suburban community.
I do too. There is a lot to do. I wish there were fewer cars in the suburbs, though.
Number 2.
Why are there a lot of cars in the suburbs? Right. That makes sense if adults need to get to the city for work.
Have you ever spent time in a rural community?
I've driven through the countryside with my parents, but I've never lived in a community like that. What about you?
My grandparents live on a farm. They love living in a rural community because it's quiet.
Number 3.
Why are rural communities good places to have farms? Ah, of course.
You should come to the farm one day.
Sounds good. Thanks. Are you ready to start biking again?
Yeah, let's go.
E. Listen again and check your answers.
Hey, Dan, can we take a break from biking?
Sure, Aiden.
Thanks. I'm tired. I'm glad we're getting to bike in our community.
Me too. I bet it would be fun to bike in an urban community because we could ride next to tall buildings. I read an article yesterday about different communities. It said many people who live in urban communities don't own cars.
How do people get around in urban communities with no cars?
They walk and take public transportation.
That's cool. Still, I like living in a suburban community.
I do too. There is a lot to do. I wish there were fewer cars in the suburbs, though.
Why are there a lot of cars in the suburbs?
People need to drive to work.
Right. That makes sense if adults need to get to the city for work.
Have you ever spent time in a rural community?
I've driven through the countryside with my parents, but I've never lived in a community like that. What about you?
My grandparents live on a farm. They love living in a rural community because it's quiet.
Why are rural communities good places to have farms?
There is more space to grow crops.
Ah, of course.
You should come to the farm one day.
Sounds good. Thanks. Are you ready to start biking again?
Yeah, let's go.